I'm going to show you how I go through the bosses, okay? I think that's what you want to hear probably anyways. Step 1. You would be surprised, but I actually read this like a lore part, which is not always there, but it gives you a better idea of what it's going to look like. To have a better idea of the fight, it's really, really important to read the top part, even though it seems like it's just RP. Do I feel immersed after reading it? I mean, yeah, maybe. Maybe that's what I'm playing this game for. A lot of people don't notice that if you click on these circles here, you can see the model. And again, that can help you understand the fight a bit better and how things are going to look like. So you already build a picture of it in your head. So for example, the energy cores are going to look like this. So you know when you enter the room, oh, there's the energy core, right? Like, you're not like, oh, what the fuck is this? Same thing with the boss. You can see it here as well, which you can't see anywhere else. Then what I do is, well, it depends. Sometimes I read the abilities, sometimes I go and read this. Definitely read this part though, because sometimes there are things here that are not here. Then what I do is I go to a boss, I start from the bottom. So let's go here. I start from the bottom and I scroll down all the time and open everything. So tack, 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 and then I scroll, I open everything. For some reason I do it from the bottom. Maybe I'm just fucking dumb. I feel like there was a reason for it. I don't know. Okay, maybe I'm dumb. It's fine. I started looking at it. I fully read the thing once. I mean, like how you prepare like the full thing, I'm not gonna tell you. Like that's up to you. You know, you might have spreadsheets where you note these things down, or I don't know, whatever you want. But to get a good understanding, I first read through the whole thing, and then before the testing, for sure. Also, I go and let's say. Energizing link. So what I do is I go to Wowhead and so I already have it here, but you can go to the database spells and then you click this. Let's do it. Okay, for some reason it's already, that's not how it's supposed to be. So here you go to spells and then you click on extended search and you type the spell. I mean, because sometimes the spell name like doesn't even exist anymore here, but you can by luck find it from some other place. And then you look for the spell name. If you don't find the spell name, you type the tooltip in. So you say like, for example, I type with a nearby, what the fuck? With a nearby energy core. And then if you type the nearby energy, should be enough. And we got the energizing link. You click on it. And there's so much additional data you can see here. And first of all, you immediately see that the boss is going to gain some sort of buff. Okay. Before you only knew that this is some spell, but it could be a cast. It could be even an instant cast, you know, that you don't even ever see the spell name really, unless you read the combat log. And the buff could be called something completely different. So when you try to make like V-Cars and stuff, you need to check these things. Otherwise, you're going to make things depending on spell names, but they're not called like that. And then you can also see additional things. Sometimes the tooltip doesn't say for energy every second. Sometimes it just say granting it energy, right? And then you can see here sometimes for every second. Or let's say, let's on a target group. We have the unshakable, the predator's hold, okay? It says some people will get a debuff basically, and they will have to spread. And you're like, how many, like, who are these some people, right? And then you go to this, you search for, what was it? Unshakable Dread. Unshakable Dread. Yeah, I was actually looking for Predator's Howl, not Unshakable Dread. Because that's the spell that causes Unshakable Dread, sorry. Yeah, I don't know why I searched for that. And then you see Tack. And that's the crucial part. Now, look at the beautiful information that you see that you can't have from dungeon. You first of all see it's a 1.5 second cast, so you're gonna be quick. You know that does it say 5 yards already here? Okay, it does say that already. You can see how many people it will target on Mythic, Heroic, Normal. Very good, it's like super important, right? Otherwise, you might think this is only on like 3 players, or this being on it could be on like 20 people, right? We don't know. And depending on that, the tactic might change. Maybe you want to master spell this or something. I don't know. Like, so you see all of that stuff. And then interestingly, you'll see sometimes like radius or something like that. And it's very weird. What you see here is like very weird because a lot of the time you don't have the info. Like I don't know what type of info they always put in here because sometimes they don't, sometimes they do it. It's really weird. I don't know why or how this gets data mined. But you see radius 100. Sometimes you can see something like radius 40 yards, and then you're like, oh, we can outrange this, right? Or even with 100 yards, maybe you can outrange it. And you can also see the flags. It says, for example, can only target the player. Sometimes it says cannot be. Actually, I actually wonder it, so I'm gonna check this. So I want to know if I can immune this thing. Remnant upper reaches might. Okay, so I'm just gonna search, and then now the problem with this is a lot of times you're gonna have more versions of the same spell because either there's like multiple things triggering it, or well, not multiple things triggering it, but there's like in the back end of the game which you don't see, there might be multiple different types of this spell that are being cast and that are named the same, or there might be things that are no longer being used, so you don't know which one is the real one. But you can check a few. Like I usually go and check all of them, and then you can see, for example, here that is like it's 50%. If it wasn't there, spawn effect is 1. Maybe that means that it could be like 1 ad or something. I don't fucking know, right? Or maybe when you collect it, you get 1 stack. I don't know. But here you can see like a lot of these flags that I was talking about, and it says usually it would say cannot be immune basically or something. Cannot be reflected, for example, right? And then okay, the terrorists might not work. I would not trust this fully, but I think I got the point across though. Chains of Eternity. Actually, I have to search for that already. And then the beautiful part is I search for it so many times usually. Like when I type it just pops up, and then I can easily find it. It just cannot miss, for example. That doesn't necessarily mean it cannot be immune. Game is weird, man. Like it's just unaffected by invulnerability. There we go. So I'll usually check off like most of them, and it can give you some insight. It doesn't have to mean anything though. That's the thing. So yeah, for example, from this you can see it's a 5-second cast, obviously, and then also, but we know that it burns the power of the boss, which means this probably happens when the boss reaches 100 energy, and then he burns it. You get the idea. You understand that it's a phase kind of thing. Now another thing that you can use this for is this is like this secrets that not a lot of people know. Okay, boys, you can check some sneaky stuff for the last boss, right? Last boss has secret stuff usually. Let's say you read the whole journal, you have a good idea of the fight, but you're like, on Mythic there's probably some extra interesting stuff. So first of all, you check all these spells. Maybe you notice a few things that on Mythic are different, like that value that targets more people or something. What you can also do is type something like Banshee form. Let's type Banshee form because it's an extended search. Interestingly, often you can find some secret spells that are not in the journal. They might make it into the game. They also might not. For example, and also this is really sad. If you don't know much about the rest of the game, which is the case with me, you can often mistake spells that are like part of some quest chain. Lady Sylvanas just appears for a sec, or turns into a Banshee or whatever, and interpret it as part of the fight. So be careful with that one. Now you can go and check Lady Sylvanas and check all the things you will find by Sylvanas. But it's gonna be a lot of things, I can already tell you. Only 49 actually, that's kind of crazy. This already looks interesting. Merciful and no mercy. I don't think this is part of the journal. That might be already a secret phase or something. Or it could be something completely easy that's we're gonna know. So, but yeah, that's how we approach PTR in general, guys. What are the things you look at specifically when testing a boss? Okay, I mean, testing itself, like the testing ground, we spent like some of the time trying to come up with how to kill it. Like right now, like let's go, right? But I would say at least the other 50% is literally, if not more, is literally just going through each ability and trying to find ways of like almost exploiting it without exploiting it, if you know what I mean.